Okay, for computer system, although mahirap i-distinguish yung ideas na nag-belong sa computer organization and ano yung ideas na nag-belong sa computer architecture, it is still important or it is impossible to say kung saan ba yung issue ng hardware and issue ng software kasi we don't know how to distinguish the ideas of both areas. If sa computer organization ba yung issue ng hardware na yan or sa computer architecture. So, mahirap. That's why computer scientists design algorithms that usually are implemented as program written in some computer languages such as Java or C++. But natatanong din nila, what makes the algorithm run? Kasi gumagawa sila ng algorithm to perform a certain task. Tapos yung algorithm na yun is nilalagay nila sa computer. So, paano nagra-run yung algorithm? So, who is responsible for that algorithm to run its purpose in order for it to perform a task? So, natatanong nila yan. So, what makes an algorithm run? So, ang answer dyan is that another algorithm and another algorithm runs that algorithm and so on and so forth until you get down to the machine level. So, an algorithm is run by another algorithm that is run by another algorithm and so on and so forth. So, yun ang answer niya. Okay. So, thus, modern computers are actually implementations of algorithm that executes other algorithm. So, yun yung conclusion natin. Again, conclusion natin sa answer ng what makes an algorithm run is that modern computers are actually implementation of algorithms that execute other algorithms. So, yung chain na yan, algorithms of algorithm, leads to this principle, which is the principle of equivalence of hardware and software, which states that any tasks done by software can also be done using hardware, and any operation performed directly by hardware can be done using software. So itong principle of equivalence of hardware and software actually tells us that we have a choice. Kumbaga, our knowledge of computer organization and architecture will help us to make the best choice. That's why we'll begin our discussion of computer hardware by looking at the components necessary to build a computer system. At the most basic level, a computer is a device. Okay, let's start with a computer is a device consists of three pieces. So we have the processor, which is also known as a central processing unit or CPU. Ang task niya or a function niya is to interpret and execute programs. Second naman na basic component, we have the memory. Of course, ang purpose is to store both data and programs. And lastly, we have the input-output, which is a mechanism for transferring data to and from the outside world. Now let's discuss each of these basic components further. Starting with the processor. So a processor is actually consists of the following. We have the control unit, the arithmetic logic unit, and the registers. Ang control unit naman, ang ginagawa niya is it acts as a traffic enforcer. Kumbaga siya yung nagdadirect ng data to correct location. Or di kaya si control unit, siya yung manager ng computer. Kasi siya yung nagko-control sa complete flow or workflow of the CPU. Kaso, ito si control unit, okay, take note, si control unit is, it doesn't take, hindi siya nagkukuha ng input or output, hindi siya nagpa-process ng data or nagsistore ng data itself. Instead, ang ginagawa niya is controlling lang talaga. Controlling operations when they are performed by respective devices. Kumbaga lahat ng mga hardware na yan, in order for them to perform their job, si control unit yung nagmamanage. So, control unit is to run the whole computer. Okay? Again, ang purpose si control unit is to run the whole computer. In addition to that, yung control unit naman is actually run by instruction. So, may mga instructions siya na pina-follow. And then, yung instruction na yun is actually stored sa instructions that helps the control unit to perform its task is actually stored in primary memory. So, yung control unit receives instructions which are stored in the primary memory and controls operation of other connected units or devices using those instructions from the primary memory. Okay, so yun ang definition or description ni control unit. Next naman, we have the arithmetic logic unit or ALU. So ito siya, it actually performs computation and make decision. For example, pino-perform na yung simple addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or logic operations. So some computers actually have two ALUs to process dalawang calculations simultaneously. Ito yung tinatawag natin na dual core technology. So kapag dual core, may dalawang ALU. Ibig sabihin, it can process two calculations simultaneously. And then the ALU also contains several special storage units called the registers. Next we have, of course, since we're talking about registers, so let's define it. Register is actually a very special storage location. So it holds the data that the CPU needs to access quickly. So in addition to that, ang register is maliit yan siya. It is a very small but a very fast storage area inside the CPU. It is actually used to store intermediate values from calculations or instructions that is needed again immediately. So, yung mga instructions na kailangan agad-agad, kumbaga, i-retrieve siya agad after processing is nilalagay siya sa register. For instance, kapag si ALU is nag-command siya to calculate A times B plus C. Okay, again, hindi ko let me write it down na lang ha. So, for example, si ALU, it's commanded to calculate A times, B plus C. So, nasa parenthesis si B and C. So, of course, uunahin natin sa pag-calculate si B plus C, right? So, let's say this is 1, 1, and this is 2. So, ang uunahin na pag-calculate is si B plus C. So, this is 2. So, nakuha na si 2. So, si 2 will be stored sa register. Diyan mo na siya isi-store. Ayan. Then, after that, kunin siya sa register and i-multiply na with the remaining values. So, 2 times 2 equals to 4. So, yun. Ganun ang purpose ni register. So, it is faster for ALU to access register than store the data in memory units.